Okay, so at this point, hopefully you have watched the overview video, you've gone through your syllabus, you've ordered all your supplies, and you are ready to start drawing. So let's go ahead and look in week 1, introduction and first steps to drawing. So there's always going to be an agenda, will be the first item that you see. Mine allows me to just scroll through everything in one go. I know that if I turn the student preview on, you can only pick one item at a time, but the information, of course, is all the same. So welcome to week 1 of Art 204 Basic Drawing. Be sure that you've read the syllabus, yada yada. Okay, each week you're going to have a range of learning activities to complete. So these are going to range from read, sketch, copy, create, discuss, and critique and assess. And you won't have all of these every week, but you will have most of them. So this week's learning activities are designed to introduce you to some basic drawing skills. We will discover that drawing is primarily a right brain activity, and we will learn how to access our right brains throughout the course. There is a pretty cool website that you can go to. It's braintest.somer-somer.com, so Somer and Somer, or Summer and Summer, and it is going to tell you, you can take a little test and it will tell you what percentage of your brain you use most. I'm actually pretty even. I favor the right brain slightly. Which is probably why I take so long when I'm doing my artwork, because my logical mind wants everything to be kind of perfect. So that shows you that even someone who's very creatively oriented, like myself, who works all in creative fields, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a completely right brain person. So, you know, artwork isn't just right brain, but drawing tends to be more of a right brain activity. So this might be something just to kind of help you see where you're at. And I think it's kind of always interesting to learn a little bit about ourselves so we know, you know, how to apply different techniques and where we need to maybe work and where we excel. So it might be something cool for you to go ahead and take a look at. So our week 1 agenda, we're going to be reading, sketching, discussing, copying, and creating. Okay, so in your text, I want you to read the introduction, chapters 1 and chapters 2, and these are quite brief, and this is really interesting text. There's lots of images throughout, and the way that Betsy Edwards writes, she's very clear, and it makes a lot of sense. She's going to just talk to you in this first reading assignment, you know, about the process of teaching people how to draw and why her method is so successful. She talks about it kind of like riding a bicycle, how drawing is a learnable, teachable skill. It's not just this thing that, you know, you either have or you don't. Some people do naturally have it, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn it. And then it's going to talk to you as well about this idea of, you know, right brain versus left brain, and, you know, how to kind of engage your right brain. So make sure that you do this reading. It's really quite easy. And plus, some of the things that we're going to be doing in the workbook assignments, you'll want to make sure that you've done this reading first to engage in those assignments. So we have a discussion this week. We're going to be watching a really cool documentary about Vincent van Gogh. It's called Painted with Words, and Benedict Cumberbatch plays Van Gogh, and it's so good. But basically the premise of the documentary is that all the dialogue that you hear spoken from Cumberbatch and the other actors is all directly from Van Gogh's letters to and from his family. And so it's pretty cool to hear an artist's own words. So before viewing, look at the discussed questions, as your discussion board questions will be based on the film. And then I'd also like you to visit the Met Museum's interactive Van Gogh lesson, How Van Gogh Made His Mark. So really cool little lesson for you. And it's got some fun little music and some cool information here for you if you go ahead and just hit next and enter. It's kind of interactive. My computer's being quite slow at the moment, but it's going to talk about his drawings, a short biography, and just how he makes his lines, and then it gives you a kind of cool little opportunity. If you click on this, you can kind of, you know, do some drawings in his line styles and change it to different points and all that kind of cool stuff. So if you have kids, this might be a cool thing to engage them with as well. And so watch that documentary. I guarantee you, you will enjoy it. And then I want you to answer the following questions. And these are just 2 to 3 sentences for each bullet point. You don't need to write big, long answers on these. So, 1, how did Vincent van Gogh use a variety of expressive lines to convey emotion? So give at least one example from the film, be descriptive. How is Van Gogh's sense of faith present in his artwork? We're a Christian university after all, and I like to integrate this in wherever I can because, creativity comes from the creator, right? And, doing artwork is, I think, an act of worship because we're using the skills and the gifts and the talents that God gave us. And so we're kind of, showing him that, your creation can be creative. So give at least one example from the film here, and then imagine you were Van Gogh. What do you see in your self-portrait? And then I'd like you to comment on a peer's forum post and, maybe find out from them what was something they learned about Van Gogh that they didn't know before. So these are the rules for your discussion board for formatting. This is how I'd like you to format them. Copy and paste these bullet points into your discussion board. There's no need to do an attachment here. So we could really just, highlight this, copy it. We could go in and start our discussion board. We could create a thread. And you can title it, kind of however you want to title it. And then you can paste these in here. And then, you can kind of just, give your answer right below these. So that's how I'd like you to format it. Again, no need to do an attachment on these discussion boards. So please respond to any questions or comments by your peers and always treat your peers with courtesy and respect. Know that to get full credit on these assignments, it's really important that you engage with your peers. I will knock off points if you just do the discussion board and you don't ask a question or make a comment on someone else's post, because we want to engage in these, right? Okay, line styles. So this is your copy assignment for the week. So I want you to download and print the 2 images attached to this assignment. So Starry Night and Van Gogh room, they look like this. This is the room. And this is Starry Night, right? So you're going to download these and print them just on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And then you're going to need your tracing paper for this assignment. You can choose to do just one of these. You might want to just do the room or just do the Starry Night, or you can do a combination of these. And so what you're going to do is on page 25 of your textbook, it's going to talk about 4 different line styles, okay? And that's why you're going to do 4 drawings. You're going to do 1 in each line style. So you're going to do 1 in bold lines. So I want you to use your fine point Sharpie here. And I want you to really focus on the strength of your lines. Don't be shy here. This is kind of not aggressive, but a little more confident, right, in these lines. So, and we'll see Van Gogh use these kind of lines often in his work. Then the next one is broken lines. So I'd like you to use your medium charcoal pencil. And these are all, found in your kit or in the supplies that you are hopefully have bought already. And here I want to see kind of a sketchy quality. This is a bit looser, a bit more emotionally driven. In your pure lines, use your 4H graphic pencil. This is a harder lead weight, so it's going to give you those nice, clean, crisp drawings. So this is pure, simple, crisp lines. This should be the cleanest of those 4 drawings, while the broken is going to be a little more sketchy and emotive and maybe messy a bit. And then the lost and found, this is where I want you to use your 3B graphite pencil. This is a softer lead weight. And really emphasize the traditions from dark to light, from thick to thin, because there are places in drawings where we maybe want to draw the eye and give more emphasis. So we might have some thicker lines there on some shapes, and then more subtle, soft lines in other places. So try to be intentional about where your lines should be heavy and where they should be lighter. So what I like about this assignment is that you're not having to come up with a drawing all on your own. You're just focusing on the different types of lines that we can use in a drawing. So make sure that you label them at the top of the page, which drawing is which. So just, your name and 1 bold, okay? So that way I know what I'm looking at. And for your submission instructions, so what I would do is place a white sheet of computer paper underneath your trace drawing. And if you have a scanner, then you want to, go ahead and scan those. That way, you're not just having a sheet of tracing paper and then some other kind of material underneath. We want to be able to see it. Or if you're going to photograph them, make sure you do that as well. So Place that sheet of paper underneath so that we're basically giving it a white background, and either scan or photograph it. When you photograph your images, please make sure that you're photographing them from directly above and that there are no shadows casting on your drawing, and that it's not blurry, okay? So this is kind of a big deal. So, you are going to need either a scanner or a camera for this class because this is the way that we're going to, upload our work, okay? So go ahead and read through this, either a PDF or a PowerPoint is fine with me. If you have any of these more technical questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. And I will walk you through the process of kind of uploading your work and, how to do that. All submitted assignments, please title them with your last name and the name of the assignment. So, for example, mine would be Boss Copy Line Styles, okay? That way, sometimes students just, I download a bunch of them and then I have to go back and figure out whose is whose and all that good stuff. So it's just easier if you do it that way, and it's just consistent throughout the course. Okay, and then you have a create assignment. So we're going to be doing these 4 activities. Yes, we're drawing a lot this week because I really want you guys to build these skills as quickly as possible. And I guarantee you by 8 weeks, you are going to be absolutely amazed at what you've been able to accomplish. So please see the directions on page 14 of your textbook to create 2 viewfinders using your 2 sheets of black paper or cardstock, or again, you can have this done for you at a craft store. You can have them cut down for you. But just make sure that you submit a photo of the 2 of them. That way I know that you have them and have created them. You're going to need scissors and a ruler here, and you're going to be doing workbook exercises 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've recommended for you different materials that you may want to use as your drawing medium. You don't have to, but if you want to use something else. But I recommend the HB pencils here because they're a little bit heavier lead weight, and it's going to give you sharper lines. And you're not going to have to be dealing, if you're erasing with kind of, really loose graphite to work with. So you're doing a pre-instruction self-portrait and a pre-instruction drawing of your hand and a pre-instruction drawing of the corner of the room. So we're going to be doing these all again in more detail later in other workbook assignments. This is going to be kind of a litmus test for us to look back at week 1's work later on in the session and see how we've improved. Students always are really intimidated with these assignments in this first week because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to draw a picture of myself. It's okay. Just do what comes naturally to you. And if you think it's ridiculous and silly and terrible, that's fine. Don't worry about it because we're going to build some skills. And then you're going to see by week, I believe it's in week 6 or week 7 that we do self-portraits again. And you're going to set the 2 of them next to each other and you're going to be so pleased with yourself. So these shouldn't take terribly long. Workbook number 4 is, pretty simple. It's just some, free drawing. So you're going to be looking at, again, different line styles from some different artists from Matisse, Van Gogh, Delacroix, and Ben Shahn. And just be doing some, really simple little drawings there. So again, the same submission instructions. I like you to use your 11 by 14 inch Strathmore drawing paper. You can use your workbook where it allows you space if you want. The reason I recommend using your Strathmore drawing paper is because it's going to preserve your workbook. So if you or your kids or someone else in your family wants to be able to go back and do these assignments in the workbook, then you haven't, just drawn all over your workbook and you've preserved it. But that's up to you. You can do it either way. It's fine with me. Just make sure that if you're scanning, or if you're photographing these, that they're very clear. So same kind of submission instructions there. Okay, a lot going on, I know. Don't be intimidated. Just dive in, stay positive, have a sense of humor, and I guarantee you guys are really going to enjoy this class. I do my best to give a lot of feedback and a lot of encouragement. So we'll walk through this process together and have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone.